I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Good afternoon, everyone. It has been a busy weekend here on the Curling Zone and Curling Stadium Network. Our Curling Stadium Vernon this afternoon. It's the men's semifinal. Final will be later on this afternoon. The women played in Vernon here and had their championship day yesterday. My name is Shawn Joyce. I'm joined for this semifinal matchup by Marty Thompson. And we've got the game between Brent Pierce and Jayden King. This is a semifinal, but also a rematch of the A qualifier game that Pierce won. And by virtue of being that A event qualifier, he's a higher seeded team. They've got the last rock here in the opening end of play, throwing the blue stones. And we're already underway. I missed how that yellow stone ended up in the back corner. But I'm either way, it's like he was probably throwing it into the rings and maybe threw it through. Can't imagine he hogged one right after practice.
Yeah, great spiel for both these teams thus far. Glad you mentioned, that A qualifier. Pierce 4-1, and Jayden King, this young team out of London, Ontario, 4-1. The only loss, obviously, a game against Pierce. So great weeks, great teams. Good to see two Canadian teams rather coming up here in the semis. A chance to go through. Speaking of going through, this is sailing a little bit, eh?
Well, yeah, and I didn't see the first shot. I just see the rock sitting in the back corner, and I'm guessing they were playing into the rings and he was heavy on the first one as well, but this one at least stops in the back 8.
So Pierce with hammer on this one, so yeah, interesting to try to, I guess, attack that rock behind the tee line. Well behind the tee line, I should say.
The lead for the Pierce team is Nicholas Umbach. The second, Cody Johnston. And that'll be him in the red hat, sweeping on the right as we see it. Matthew Blanford, the third. And Brent Pierce, the veteran, in the house.
Good little sweep here to keep the line. It's going to overcurl on them, I think, slightly.
Yeah, it's going to be a little light of the freeze, too. Comes to rest for shot rock, full 4-foot. Jayden King asking for the hit and roll. Second stones now. This is Owen Henry. The lead on the team is Daniel Del Conte. He's on the right. The third, Dylan Lepage. And in the house, the skip, Jayden King, looking for a hit and roll. He's going to hit and stay right there. Does pass it by the yellow at the back. Has left the double.
It certainly has. Let's see. Yeah, just take it right at it. There's a couple ways to make this shot at Pierce, again, with hammer here. So that corner guard is quite nice for them as well. Not a bad little setup here for the first end.
Yeah. You make the double here, and you probably assume that Jayden King will try to hit it and stay in the open, but it'll be up high enough in the rings by then that if he wants to take a run at rolling all the way across the house behind the corner, he'd still be in front of the tee line. Might not get the double here. Passes it by the back stone, rolls to the other side of the center line. It does mean Jayden King can't really try to roll behind the corner. He'd have to jam it. So they'll try to roll back to the other side of center.
Yeah, Owen has just such a nice slide. I'm glad we can get this angle here for the semifinals, just getting to see that. It's quite nice. We just get a little roll on this, eh?
Yeah, he doesn't want to stay there. It would be a double and a roll behind cover.
That's good line calling here, too, just to make sure you get just enough. Great spacing.
Cody Johnston being asked to make the hit on the stone that was just delivered and roll in front of the shot stone back at the 8.
Now, Cody does have a good delivery, but pulling the rock between the hacks always makes me a little bit anxious. But at least he makes the shot, so it's all good.
I will say from my own experience, because I still have a backswing on the hits, that if you backswing the hits, if you're going to no lift the draws, and I do, I prefer to pull it back to the middle of the hacks just so that everything's coming back at the same angle.
Totally fair. There's loose interpretations about what is a good and a bad slide. As long as you hit the shots, like I said, some things are allowed to make me a little bit anxious, though, Shawn.
I've seen a few this weekend that I thought, and not necessarily here, but I've seen a few this weekend that I thought they were pulled far too far over in front of the foot. It actually turned their hips.
That's not ideal, is it?
No.
Trying to carve this one over a little bit. You want to get a pretty solid chunk of this rock, and they will. Good little weight on that, eh? It's nice to sort of warm up into the game, throw something like that. You don't really have to start killing rocks, and that just shows a little bit of the maturity in this team. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about Jayden later, but 21, 22 years old, did incredibly well at the U25 Next Gen Classic. This is a team that is playing well above their years, for sure.
Matthew Blanford now looking for the hit and roll in front of that shot stone. He's got the hit. He's going to roll a couple of inches, but stays the edge of the 8 for second shot.
Something similar here from the page. It's that nice little tidy hit. Calling it a little up.
Got to be a little careful if he's on the outside. This is high enough. You hit it on the outside, you could jam this.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just the kind of tolerance you wanted to avoid on that shot, Shawn. Is just having like a little bit too much weight. Saw a couple rocks there yesterday just watching the game. Some of the hits we were just noticing tended to kind of fall out a little bit. Just sadly on the tolerance perspective, that was just the wrong miss to make. But yeah, time to shake it off and move on here as we head towards skip stones. Just one more to go here from Blanford.
Well, and the timing works out really well for Brent Pierce. If you're going to try to get an easy deuce, you'd love to be coming in on third's last stone. Here we are. A lot of room yet, nothing out of the brushers. Starting to pick it up as we approach the hog line.
Line's crucial here. You're seeing just how much the rocks are moving here in Vernon. That's quite nice. Nice and high as well. That's an excellent shot from Blanford. Great weight.
Not really much choice now for Jayden King. He's going to have to try the run through. If you make it, you're probably looking at a blank.
Yeah, just right through it. Here for Jayden King. From all the way out from London, Ontario to Vernon for this one. Real smattering of teams here in Vernon. Of course, lots from Asia, lots from BC, but just the odd one from out this way, at least in the east. And it really pushed this one out, though.
I don't know if he pushed it far enough out. Yeah, just misses the second stone. Does get his shooter into the top of the 12.
It's a little tight on it, but yeah, it's a wonder that we're able to push that out just a little bit more. It didn't seem like it was too far from actually making contact with that blue, Shawn. It wasn't overly far, but
it presents an issue for Brent Pierce because he'd probably like to just split the rings and sit two. The yellow's kind of in the way, and if he plays the hit, he's going to have to leave a double. It might be a thin double, but it's a shot Jayden King's probably going to play to try to get out of his end.
Yeah, great point. You almost want to roll that rock like just to kind of like the center line and try to make it as sharp as you possibly can, because you're bang on. That yellow rock is, you can't nose that. You have to give something. and try to make the angle as sharp as possible.
Well, and if it wasn't right there, he might still just draw to split the rings. It's in the way.
Yeah, right. Still a decent opportunity for a deuce here. Fortunate to get the one miss here in this end, but a great chance to capitalize here for this team from BC.
Brent Pierce with his first, sitting one. Looking for the hit on second shot. Rock needs to roll a little bit to bite. This is going to have a big roll.
Yeah, just a little
Maybe
bigger
a little
than they
too
wanted.
much.
Yeah, that angle's there.
Forces him to play the slash, though. If he makes the double, he probably rolls out, and it's a throw-through for the blank.
Yeah, if that rock is what? If that rock's maybe a foot to the left as we see it on the right-hand side of the screen maybe, or 2 feet or something, just to make that a little bit more awkward. But
yeah. Even just to split center. If you split center, it becomes, it almost you have to decide, well, which way are we playing it? Are we going to play the thin in-off double, or are we playing the thin slash double? Neither one of them was going to be particularly thick. And you put 2 shots into his mind.
Yeah, really got to get this one out here again from Jayden. Oh, it's not bad.
Well, thin's definitely going to make contact, and with that big weight, plenty of weight to spin it out the back, and nothing in play. Brent Pierce will simply throw his final stone through the rings. Just going to try to pick a spot he'd like to see for later.
That was a great shot from Jayden King, and good adjustment after that other hit just being a little bit tighter. And yeah, that was an excellent shot. Good chance to see here from Pierce too, to see what it looks like it's going to do inside out. I imagine is what the call is here. But yeah, certainly a good first end. Oh no, I guess they're going to come back out the other way. Yeah, good first end. Like I said, just that one miss, but you know that's why they pay the skips the big bucks there. And King just bailing the team out here and looking towards the blank here and looking towards the second end.
Final stone of the opening end. Brent Pierce simply throwing this through for the blank. The Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic. This is the men's semi-final. No score after the opening end. Brent Pierce, Jayden King will be back for second end action right after this.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
What you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Second end underway here as we resume. First stone brought into the top of the 12-foot off the center line. The corner guard attempt looked like Brent Pierce was just going to stand there and make sure that rock didn't get into the rings. I dare you to hit me. But
Yeah.
it stopped just in time.
That's some shenanigans for the second end for sure. Yeah.
Again, we didn't see the call on the first one. It's into the 12th, and I don't know whether they're playing the center guard or trying to play top 12. I would tend to think in the second end they'd be playing the center guard.
Yeah, good chance to recover here for Conte.
Daniel's been a little, we're assuming that first one was a guard. He's been a little heavy on his first 3 draws to start this game off, and that's something he's going to need to turn around quickly. You have to have those lead stones.
Yeah, good little recovery there. Maybe making a big adjustment and just having your sweepers on it. And, you know, that's part of the battle of playing lead. If you do struggle with that draw weight is knowing that you can fall back. You know, you've got, you know, good, strong, young guys in your team. You can just fall back a little bit. You know, feel like you're going to take 8 feet off or more, right? Just have that sort of mental picture of, I'm going to take X amount off. And, you know, for the odd time you hog, you know, the other times your teammate's there to pick it up for you. So this is really going to move on them. It might just, eh?
Makes the hit, but the shooter will roll all the way across the house and out of play. Jayden's first thought was to come around the yellow.
Yeah, coming around a corner guard when you don't have the hammer is an interesting setup, but, you know, it's hard to really, I don't know, if it might be worth it doing this time and see if you can't force a miss out of them. I'm not sure. I'm down for the aggressiveness. I think this makes sense.
I hate that blue stone looks awfully dangerous to me. You could hit and roll in off it. It's because it's so tight to the rings. It's a hard one to ignore. And it's a whole different story when you're coming around a corner, even your own corner. If it was a center guard, that's a different story. Had to go a little bit to make sure they were by, and this might slide behind the tee line.
Yeah, almost got the execution perfect. So, yeah, it's tough where it is there now because, yeah, that's the right call for sure. Just follow it down, but
yeah. It actually popped out into the open on the other side of the guard as well. It looks like an okay shot, but if I'm scoring it, it's a 2 at the most. and it might be a 1. It helps Brent Pierce more than it does Jayden King.
Well, certainly. Interesting. Looks like it's maybe a little fast again. Always hard to tell on stream, but see if this one comes up for them or not. Certainly wide. Yeah, you know what? That's a good spot for that blue rock.
Yeah,
yep,
that's
a good spot.
Just in front of the tee line, and might have left a sliver open, but it's on the side where if you don't get right to the nose, you're going to jam it into the yellow.
Yeah, great chance for Henry here to just attack that blue. Yeah, maybe just, you know, you don't have to overthrow this for sure. You know, just a few feet more. Focus on that. Get the line right here. It's gonna be quite good for yellow if they could make this nice little tap back.
They're on the brush right out of his hand from the inside, so that should be a line call.
This movement's good though. Yeah, maybe even hold up just a hair, yeah.
By the front, and now they're sweeping for curl.
Yeah, I certainly understand the you know, the cautiousness on the line call there, because she did end up getting a good roll, but boy, they did actually have some room on that guard. I guess it helps when you start sweeping that rock right away, just kept it even that much more straighter, but yeah, that was really close to being, you know, sitting 2 yellows, and they're kind of in that Christmas tree shape in behind, buried. One would be above the tee line, if I'm not mistaken, for where that yellow rock would have ended up. So, yeah, quite close to really putting the pressure on for Pierce instead. We have a nice little hit and roll, it looks like here, Shawn.
Yeah, and he can throw it fairly quietly as well. Once again, they're on the sweep early, and this one's Certainly tighter line to the rock in the house than the last one.
It's a great
These are real close.
Great sweep from Umbach to keep that there just right. Excellent shot. Great team shot. Yeah, to see the aggressiveness there again right away, calling just to keep this a little bit straighter, and that's the right call. Ultimately, you know, it's difficult when you try to avoid calling line too early. You don't, you know, when you're in the house, certainly worried about killing rocks and sending them, you know, keeping them way too straight or really changing the line. But that's just some good instincts there to just ensure that that rock was made properly. And now up to third stones, and yeah, Jayden King forced to do some sneaky business here to try to get out of this one for sure.
Yeah. Well, you know, I hate to be too critical, but this is what can happen when you start coming around corner guards without last rock.
This might come up for them just a little bit. It looks pretty good. Oh, splayed them both. Hey, that's really unlucky from the page. Good execution. Boy, that's unlucky.
One more look at this. They're actually, they weren't sweeping that particularly hard, but if anything from the side that keeps it straight, it needed to curl just a feather more. Or a feather less, I guess. Then he just gets the back one, but yeah, it's, you couldn't hit that worse.
It's tough when you have that you have a couple different options to hit to, and yeah, they don't quite you hit half of each. Well, I'm glad we have the skipper back from the washroom. I thought he had just left, Shawn. I was wondering, I'm like, is he done? You know, does he have a flight to catch or something? What's going on? But I'm glad he's back. That's me playing too. A nice little washroom break can't hurt it. Can't.
You know, they might be fortunate that they at least ticked the high one over, because I think Brent might still play the split. You could just come around the guard, but that stone that's just off the rings that I thought he should have hit about 5 shots ago, you could split it in and sit 4 right now. Brent's thinking about it.
Yeah, your shooter would roll centrally, and yeah, I don't mind that.
Straight back's not a bad plan B either, yeah.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Just kind of what it's calling, maybe T-line, back 4-ish. Yeah, you don't really need to nudge it that much.
Well, the rock
coming
that's
inside out, too.
The rock that's shot right now, you can't really play the hit and roll. If you're Jayden King, you can't play the hit and roll behind cover off it because you're jamming it on the yellow.
Mm. So another great chance for Team Pierce to capitalize on Hammer after that blank. Chance to sit 4. With the first of the third stones coming here from Blanford.
It looks like a lot of room now, but you know, as they come off the center line, they tend to go hard. He doesn't need to hit much of it. He needs to hit some of it, though.
And unfortunately, again, same thing I said earlier in the game, just sadly the wrong way to miss tolerance-wise. If that's a couple feet shorter, you know, you're going to make that because it's going to curl up a little bit more. That's quite disappointing of a result. I still think it's worth. I still think it was worth it, Shawn. Like,
it was worth it. That's just too much weight. You're only the rock is barely an inch outside of the rings. You're not trying to throw through weight to make that split. T-line is plenty.
So a chance to just kind of hit this blue rock and get a nice juicy roll under the guard.
I don't think they could roll under the guard without risking the jam on it.
Okay, that works.
I'd have been tempted to play the double.
Yeah, on the other side. Yep, totally.
The slash double. Now it's the same problem for Brent, though. If he tries to roll behind the cover, he's going to slash on that yellow. It probably stays far enough out that it's still third shot.
That should be.
I think so. And as long as you're jamming it for third, you're fine. Make the roll behind cover.
And Matt Blanford here. Big shot.
And sweeping for curl right out of his hand, and this is a long ways out there.
Yeah, it's tough.
Good job by the brushers.
Yeah, just a little sliding a little wide, both on his out turns. One right down the center, and then one out obviously to the wings. Yeah, Blanford certainly wouldn't be happy with that, but still in the rings and still sitting pretty good. And you see up here to skip stones with King really having to get creative and thinking about just drawing right down to the back or drawing there.
Yeah, your choices here, the draw, or you can play the slash double. Now here's the thing, you play the slash double, you're rolling out. And then Brent Pierce has a choice. He could still play the split sit 2. He could come around the corner guard, save the split for his last one. You might have to just get one in there first. That was his first thought. They're looking at the slash now too.
Yeah.
Looking at the draw to the top 8.
Yeah, throwing it that wide. Yeah, throwing it hit that wide. I get maybe just being like a little bit cautious about it, because if you do sink this draw, you know they'll have that blue rock at the back as a potential item to jam onto. Yeah, I don't know. I tend to like this call here from Jayden. Just come around, just see if you can get it in a weird spot, and you'll have another bailout shot after this one anyway. So if you need to move some granite, you can.
He's got a ton of rotation here.
And it's a little heavy, but that rotation allows you to curl that over and still make a decent shot. So sitting the 1 pretty decently behind cover. You know, it's not the hardest shot in the world, but there is some certain level of difficulty to just removing this yellow stone and giving Jayden a potential hit or something on his last. I'm not sure what kind of weight they want to throw with this line, Shawn. You don't really have to kill it, do you?
No, but he'll want to roll towards the center line. You don't want to stay behind the guard. You roll over, and Jayden's going to have to hit it, and you'll have an open shot for your 2. And if you ever rolled out, you still have that split that could be for 3.
Yeah, crucial shot here with still a big score potential in this end, no doubt.
Brent Pierce with his first. He's got last rock here in the second end after a blank in the first. Looking to hit sit 2. He'd love to roll the shooter out into the open somewhere. Gonna make the hit. I don't know how far he's gonna roll. Not at all.
Yeah, moved on them quite a bit. Yeah, tempted just to throw the same thing he just threw. You know, come right down in there, take a few feet off of it. Your sweepers know this path now, hopefully, and see if you can't just meld one on there. I like this call too. Considering where that blue rock actually is, you know, you've got a little bit of leverage too. Even if you're just behind the tee, that's still a difficult shot for Brent on his last. So it's a good call here from Jayden, and they'll try to see if they can put the pressure on here. Pierce, maybe even get a force. Tolerance light for sure. See that little tap from Del Campo, just showing that it is maybe a little bit up for weight for sure. Oh, trying to do the carve to kill here too, and really got to slow this one down.
Didn't get it out and left room to pass it by for 3.
Yeah, that's too bad. It was just up weight, and good call there from the brushers to identify that early. Yeah, that's tough, eh? That's tough.
I think the difficult part for the brushers on that is I think that was a little less rotation, so it ran a little different.
100%. Yeah, it definitely was.
They
Because the first thing, as soon as you let it go, you kind of spot that, and it's like, ugh, yeah.
And they swept for curl, but of course on a rock with a little more rotation, you'll get more curl anyway, early anyway. And there's a good look at it from the hack. Just over curled the nose.
So what kind of weight do you like on this one, Shawn? You just got to bump it back a little bit, eh?
Yeah, Brent can throw the same weight he just threw. They'll probably sweep it early. It'll be one of those ones where you make sure you pass the back one, and then they'll watch it at the end. If you can hit it thick enough to pass it by the back blue and still save your shooter, it's for 3. If you just kill it, even if you roll out, it's 2. You just can't over curl here. That's the only thing. You over curl and jam it, you're probably only getting 1.
Buck right down on it here.
Yeah. Make sure you pass the back one, and then you'll try to carve it over for about half a rock. It's close. It's really close. Perfect. Brent Pierce, nice little tap through the rings with his final stone here. The second end, and he will pick up 3 points with the hammer. It'll be Jayden King with last rock in the third.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Underway here in the third end in this semi-final matchup. First stone, we just see come to rest at the top 4 foot, biting a corner of the button. Now Daniel Del Conte will be asked to throw the corner guard. There's only just so many ways these ends can start under the 5 rock free guard zone. It's almost like you could follow certain scripts. We can call the first 4 shots and then come back in about 2 minutes. If they're going to throw the corner, Brent's going to throw another one to the top of the house. They're going to come around the corner. If Brent's got something good in the middle, he may guard it. If he doesn't, he'll throw the third one into the rings, and then the end starts after that.
We were calling these, you might like this, Shawn, we were calling these like textbook starts to ends, you know.
I call them scripts, but yeah,
Scripts,
it's the same type of thing. Yeah.
It was like, oh, let's take a look at the diagram. Let's see what we have written down. Oh, okay, it's this diagram. You know, it's you know, and at this level, I think with the club curlers, you know, it was talking about it last night at the club. Like some folks want to throw up those corner guards and make people throw the double centers or whatever, and it's like it really is just this level where they can throw that kind of weight at that speed and remove that kind of stuff. You know, at club level, it's not. You know, you don't need to be too concerned about it, but you know, at this level, obviously due to the precision that we see, you know, there fundamentally is that script, like you said, Shawn. It's hard to avoid going. If you go off script, you know, there's real reasons and real ramifications for that not to work out.
Yeah, this is only, I would say, a little off script, only because it's just the third end and he's throwing the double corners already. Yeah. You don't usually see this early. It is one of the script pages. Ooh, and the sweepers have not even bent over yet.
I don't really want this one sailing too far.
It's fine where it is. I mean, there's angle there for a double peel later. You can't play it yet. This is still just the fifth stone of the end. And I said if he had a good setup in the middle, you might see him throw a guard on this one. And it's a pretty good setup in the middle right now. That shot stone biting the button.
Yeah, a little aggressive from King for sure, but you know, from his perspective, you've seen, you know, his second Owen Henry be able to throw a couple decent hits thus far, and you know, you kind of just have to throw a little back if you trust that the middle two players to be able to, you know, make some movement and make some space. It's certainly worth trying, and we've seen already in this game that they do have that ability. So yeah, why not just put a little bit of pressure on, see what you can do. You know, you're going to be able to move the granite, you're able to keep it open. You know, it seems like he's kind of found his draw weight, hopefully after being just a touch heavy on those two last end. And yeah, it's you know, sometimes it just helps to be a little aggressive earlier in the game, you know, just to sort of test it, see how far you can get from it, because yeah, now you're looking at this kind of setup and it looks pretty juicy, right?
Yeah, that guard is really tight. Quarter frozen the stone in the 12-foot. It's a tough double to miss, and you can get the roll behind the corner.
Yeah, so like not a ton of weight here from Owen. Just the roll is important. I think they're calling it up though.
Yeah, you'd probably like to kill both of those blues. This is going to overcurl on him. Going to stay right there, I think. Well, it gets a bit of a roll. Does kill both of the blue ones though.
That's still good spacing. You're going to see Brent go after this yellow, but you know, the trick is that, you know, it could spill out, or you could, even if it does roll out to about there, you might be able to play around it. You know, there's other ways that the play still has to sort of go towards the middle, and you're able to sort of have that stuff that you can hit and roll later. Because yeah, that would be ideal to just hit and stick it, but yeah, we'll see if they're able to execute that shot for sure. Cody Johnson's up next. And they can get a little roll behind.
No, make the hit. Yeah, I don't think they would have wanted to roll behind, but they don't mind sitting right there. It chokes off that corner guard. If you did roll behind that side, you'd have the blue to play the short run back.
Would you like this here from Jayden just to come around?
Not on that side. Because that short run back is there. He's going to elect to play the hit, and he's still rolling that way. I'm not sure why he doesn't like the other corner guard.
Here's Henry with the hit here, coming across center. King with hammer, those two corner guards trying to take advantage of it, and it will be just off nose. Certainly a little bit of disappointment there from Henry as it's wide open. And yeah, the difficulty in this, and I know I sort of alluded to this earlier in the end, only a couple shots ago, you know, you do need to lean on those middle two players to be able to execute on the you see a score correction there on the back wall there, but you need to be able to execute on these corner guards because now they're just completely in no man's land.
So Matthew Blanford a chance to try to hit and roll behind, and see, to me this makes more sense. You don't like playing behind corner guards anyway if you're Brent Pierce without last rock here, so at least try to roll over behind your own.
Carving it even with that very, very narrow line. See where the broom is still. I moved it slightly over where it was, but can you get enough movement on this? Not quite. The hit and roll is still there.
Yeah. That's still not the one I'd be playing.
Yeah, first stone's coming up here for Dylan DePage, and you know, there's difficult shot, but you've got some tolerance here in terms of rolling it. You know, I'm not sure exactly what kind of weight they're going to throw, but you know, you don't really need to hurt it too much. Just get a big juicy roll. You can even go all the way out, you see, to the edge of the 8. Focus on making contact with the right rock. The weight can be have some variance in the weight for sure, but the roll is important.
Yeah, this line's getting tight early. Gonna have to go to hold this. Gets the hit. Rolls over towards the guard, but stays just fully out in the open.
So for Pierce, you know, he could just try to just nose that. Yeah, you saw
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
They saw the line on that blue one, like the blue rock that you see just to the left of that yellow one on the left side of our screen. You know, they got a little cheeky just thinking that they could nose it. So you know the line if you're Brent, so let's just try to do that again because the nose would be ideal, right, Shawn? Just sort of completely nullify this half of the sheet.
Yeah, and you know, by the same token, though, if they roll 2 or 3 inches broom side, this rock has now been exchanged. It started out at the tee line, and now it's high enough up in the rings that if Jayden King ever does make the roll behind, it's a very short run back. Now they've rolled it right back to the other side, though, and right back to the tee line.
That's one way to miss that, get that buried behind the card. Yeah, still the come around makes sense here. Just coming up to skip stones after the page here, so yeah, difficult proposition for this team from Ontario to try to really execute on this hammer situation, but make this draw around. You could make the draw, get buried, and be shot, maybe?
Yeah,
you know, there's a small window there, but it is possible for you to get there, and yeah, we'll see what Dylan can pull out here.
Boy, this is really moving across the line. He might be light, I think.
Yeah, just a little light.
It's not getting by the blue one if it does have the weight.
Well, another guard into the pile. The question is, yeah, that's actually a pretty nasty stagger there with the yellows and blues. So yeah, Brent Pierce, objective number 1 is just get behind those staggers as soon as possible. And yeah, play that nice sort of like top 8 weight. You're seeing how much these rocks are curling too, Shawn. Like, you know, you really can get into a really nice place quite easily as long as you play that weight that's, you know, above the tee line. Should move for you pretty good. Looks like they're going for just about edge of 4, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily need to dead bury this, but he'd like to get at least half under cover. If you dead bury it, even with that stagger, I wonder if they couldn't just run it back. Guess it depends how deep it is.
Just a chance to come around here.
Big shot here for Brent Pierce. He got 3 in the second end. And now a chance to set up the force right back in the third.
Yeah, no kidding. Wouldn't be surprised if they even maybe come away with a point in this end too, just with how this setup is. If you make this draw, really force Jayden to again get creative on his second last stone and really apply the pressure. They really want to make sure they keep this tight.
Yeah, he's got room by the guard, but it is getting tight. They don't seem to want to go, so are they worried that it might be a little deep?
That's just about perfect. So yeah, that's
too deep though.
Yeah, it's tough just how close they were to that guard. You could see them talking about the line and electing to go to right where that broom is there. Maybe just a little bit outside, just that edge of 4. And yeah, you just saw how much that was. It really does come across quite nicely. Yeah, that's quite close for this team to try to judge that kind of weight coming across center. But it is an opportunity here for Jayden to just sort of draw on top. I'd almost be wanting to end up close to that top 4 weight. Be shot, of course, but be on the lighter side for sure. Let your sweepers bring this in. Because if you draw right onto it, I'd imagine we know what Brett Pierce is going to do.
Now, Jayden King, and we saw it with the intern last end, he throws a lot more rotation. This is not going to curl the same as Brent's did. So they're trying to carve it early.
Yeah, how much can you kill this? Yeah, not enough. It's hard to tell too, you know, it could be the rocks as well. We can't time the rocks and we can't time the deliveries here, sadly, from reliably anyways, from where our vantage point is, but that's certainly difficult from Jayden to now have all of those draws end up a little heavy. And for Pierce, yeah, just attack the top 8, I guess. Just try to control the front.
Yeah,
make the draw tough.
Question of what line you want to be on. Anywhere in the center line up top 8 or even in front of the house, he can't throw the exact same path he just threw. With the positioning of that corner guard, if you're splitting the center line, just biting the top of the 8, it's a tough draw to come through towards the button on the out turn.
Yeah,
he'd probably have to throw the in turn towards the corner.
Yeah, Blanford's first thought is, yeah, something high and on that side.
Yeah, that would take away any of the shots to backing. He wouldn't be able to play likely to freeze to the, or to come down to the one. He'd have to drop cold through the port on the in turn to the button.
Right. Certainly spoiled for choice. This team's up 3, and they're really debating how to prevent Jayden King from getting 1 even. But you know, sometimes it's nice to have those conversations when there's a little less pressure involved. So let's say.
Yeah. Well, and you understand what they're looking at too, because it's if he's going to miss the shot, and you bring another one into the 8-foot, you know, you're either getting, let's put it this way, if you put it in the 8-foot, he's either getting 1 or you're getting 3.
Yeah.
There's probably no in between.
Yep.
If you leave it up short in front of the house, it's never going to be more than 2, and it's not like you could take everything away anyway. I'd be tempted to try to just bite the 8-foot, even full 12, outcount the one at the back, because the only way he's likely missing is if he crashes.
Yeah, so just trying to come in and just maybe that top 8. I know that Blanchford had put this broom kind of in that like 3-guard area on that side of the center line. Yeah, it's kind of just depends how greedy you want to be. Yeah, very curious to see what kind of shot King will have on his last.
Yeah, he's going to have the in-turn draw to. He'll have to probably play it to cross center a little bit. Because he won't want to flirt with that yellow-blue guard situation at the top.
No, certainly not.
Boy, this is going. I don't know if he's going to block anything here.
Yeah, did that ever start curling? Wow. started to get movement, it felt like almost like a third.
Maybe grab
the
something
sheet.
because it's a lot higher than they were thinking too. It probably takes away the out turn draw. Well, he's still going to play it. It's not going to look great from the Hacks.
But it's there. Yeah, that's too
it
bad
is.
on that rock. Even you just saw it, sort of cut you off there, Shawn, but yeah, just you saw at the end there the blue rock was just almost coming directly sideways. So yeah, something definitely is up with that rock. That's too bad because if you made that really nice, yeah, this doesn't look as daunting from the hack. I know we sort of saw that angle briefly, but yeah, difficult for Pearson. King with a chance to get the point and get out of here.
Again with a lot of rotation, but both brushers ready this time, so he must have brought the weight down a bit. There you can see it starting to move now. Still don't think he's got any backing.
Great recovery on draw weight there from Jayden. Well done.
Puts it into the corner of the 4-foot. Jayden King will pick up his single point here in the third. Brent Pierce with a 3-1 lead though, and he will have last rock in the fourth.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Three to one as we begin play here in the fourth end. First stone thrown, and it's a high center guard, but it is on that center line, so in the no-tick zone. Nicholas Umbach looking to come around it. Weight doesn't look too bad here, but this rock is not moving at all. Brings it into the top 4 foot, still half to 3/4 open. That's a little surprising. Daniel now looking to follow it down. Like to get to the inside. This stone having the same problem. It's hanging out there a little bit. They're trying to get some extra curl with the brush. A little quieter still. They've actually got the second center guard out of it. Guard that was just thrown is not touching the center line. I'm not sure if they're talking about trying to play the split or not.
Yeah.
Brent wants to come around. That was his first thought.
Yeah, I mean, another script or textbook start to an end if you have the hammer and you can sit two behind two center guards. It's coming on the intern side. Here from Umbach. We got to move this rock, eh?
Just rubs the one tighter to the rings, and that one certainly moved. Now that's, you almost expect when the outturn seemed to be so straight as they were coming in here this end. That's not terribly surprising to see the intern curl that hard, but it's something that they'll have to watch for. I can't, it's tough when you do so many games as a caller this week. It's hard to remember whether you've been on this sheet and whether you've noticed that one turn might be curling more than the other, and but the players should probably be aware.
Either that or you keep a rock book for Vernon, BC, you know, or an ice. You know, you got to write it down every single time.
Yeah. I try not to do that as an announcer.
A nice little soft weight on this blue here.
This intern goes. Look at this.
They're going to get under that quite a bit. Hey, wow. Yeah. It's a good little weight there. Nice touch shot from Henry for sure. Really changes the fortunes, yeah, as you see Brent having to go out and maybe take a whack at these, eh?
With a 2-point lead and everything on the center line, I figured he was peeling guards here anyway. It's just a question of which ones. He's going to go after the long one and straight peel.
Cody Johnson here with some big weight. I'll toss it to the hand and nice execution on that one. Yeah, for King, I guess you just put that back up. Yeah, just sort of maintain this shape as long as you can in this end.
I like this call. You see so many times after a peel like that, somebody will make a decision, okay, we got to deal with these rocks and rings. Well, why? They peeled the guard. They obviously don't like it. Put it back.
Right.
Probably be, I would say, thirds last before you need to make a move into the rings. Assuming you don't leave any kind of double peel here.
Worried about Wade. Yeah, that's a good little spot. Yep.
Could play the double on the other two now, though.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's just been sitting there for you. Hard to, obviously, there's one way you can miss it bad, but, you know, if you just get any real chunk of that outside of that yellow, you should be in good shape.
Yeah, that just overcurled a little bit with that guard. Left this available, and that guard high enough that by itself it's not really protecting much.
Second big weight here from Thompson the second. Yeah, gonna bring it over.
They hit it just off the nose.
Great little shot there.
Little thin on the first one, but enough action to get both yellows out of play. Loses the shooter as well.
Team King out of London, Ontario, and the London, Ontario Curling Club. Been on quite the run here. And an incredible spiel at the Ontario Tankard. Last year, beating John Epping's rink in the semifinal, truly outplaying a very talented, very strong team, and then taking on the Howard rink in the final. Howard playing as a 3, but just narrowly lost that 8-7. And again, it's starting from King as, you know, a 21, 22-year-old skip, and especially in this province here in Ontario. It's a really promising young group of athletes, and you know, the men's side and the women's side, it's kind of analogous to what we sort of see in the top level of the sport in this country, where, you know, there are certainly those top teams, and then, you know, the cascading effect as the teams sort of go down. Whether it be an Epping or a Howard on the men's side, obviously Homan on the women's side, and it's just good to see some fresh faces and teams that can truly compete at the tankard level. It's to have a 21-year-old in a tankard in a provincial final in this country is something that we really need to hold on to, and we need to have more of it. Obviously, that's why the U25 Next Gen spiel happened earlier this year, and guess who finished second in that? The Jayden King rank. So, it's just the longer we can kind of keep these teams together, and I know it's maybe crass how I'm speaking about them, but it's true. Like, this is just good for the sport to have a team this young, and especially, competing against a skip like Pierce, who's been there and done it. This is the kind of shape that we need to have for this country, for our athletes to really be successful at the top level, is prop up these kind of athletes and ensure that they have the best platform they can to succeed. I'm going to get off my soapbox, but anyway, okay. I just want to say that this team is quite special, and it's good to see them getting that cross-country travel to get out here and play some of these events.
Okay, now after you get off your soapbox, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I'm wondering, is this one too many guards?
Well, I was too busy talking about some other abstract stuff, Shawn.
We're on the third's last stone here. If Brent Pierce decides to ask Matthew Blanford to come around and Christmas tree this, you're in a lot of trouble.
That's the right call, Shawn. I think you answered your own question there. Yeah, this is tough now. Yeah,
that was one too many guards. You had the tight guard. That was the shot to come in. You're not going to be in a great steal position anyway. You're trying to force. Brent wants Matthew to come down and talk about it, but yeah, you Christmas tree this, and you're sitting pretty good to get two. You see that gesture. He's worried that Jayden might come around from the other side, but where can he put it that he's not going to leave a slash on the Blues? They're still going to peel the guard.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because the thing with the come around on the right side, as we see on the left-hand side of the screen, is that you have some tolerance for where that rock could go. You could even be sitting like top 12, and King's still in trouble, as long as it's buried.
Oh, I don't think he was looking at. Oh, coming around the right side for Matthew. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As long as you Christmas tree it. The only thing they were worried about was King coming around the other side, but for him to be shot rock, you're going to have a slash available.
Right. So, I guess they see that right away.
Not sure what the little slash gesture is making, what they're worried about. You're either coming in with a draw, which would be ultra aggressive, but it's there to be made, or you're playing the little hit and roll off the blue and making sure you don't give up two here.
Yeah, something nice and tidy, Even you don't need to, even if you rolled a little bit, force into that sort of, exactly. Yeah, you don't have to make this like 100%, and it could be useful. I think they were maybe thinking a few shots ahead about the slash potentially. Just sort of seeing what could be out there for their opponents, but just something nice and easy here, and force Pierce to some kind of run back double.
Quite an extension on the release. They're looking for curl here. Wants to get a roll to the inside if he can. Boy, it's trying.
That's a decent little sweep from Henry, though. Yeah, I see how red the face is when he comes around. That was a good sweep. It does make it, slightly just on the trickier side for sure. But just, oh man, another half a rock would have been really nice, Shoot.
For Brent Pierce, you'd like to roll a piece under, but you probably don't want to roll dead behind, because then if they make the run back absolutely perfect, they'd stay in front of it. It's always the trick when you're rolling behind the other team's tight guard. Instead of rolling perfectly behind, I want to roll half undercover.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and only half.
The margins are slim at this level. Yeah, it just comes down to what you want your opponent to end up throwing, and as much as it is a short run back, it's still probably the run back. So, or the double, sending the yellow back. So this is the right call for sure. You could also send it wide, but yeah, let's just try to get under this cover and see if we can get out of here with a deuce.
Yeah, even a short run back still got to be made.
Yep, most certainly. On this pretty quickly.
Yeah, they might be trying to roll to the open side. Or maybe they kind of got caught in between. Gets a roll maybe another inch in behind, so it's pretty much edge to edge. It's actually not a bad spot. Hard for Jayden to roll under cover.
Ooh, that's, I don't know.
I think Jayden's looking at trying to play the run and roll them both together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good call.
It's pretty hard to get under the guard coming at the blue direct. So you try to run it just on a slight angle. You hit, say for instance, 7/8 of the guard so that it hits 3/4 of the one in the rings. The one in the rings will go a little farther and hopefully you're buried.
Yeah, that blue rock, as much as that's not what they wanted to do, it really is just so that they can't do that hit and roll.
Yeah, it does take the hit and roll away. And I don't know with this young team if that's the case, but a lot of times, with the let's call it the more veteran teams, if you signal we're going to play the angle run and try to run it in, there might be two guys come from the other end. Why are we not hitting the rock in the rings? I don't want to give up two here very bad.
Right. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's exactly what happened there, but he's going to play the rock in the rings now.
Yeah, just get rid of it, I think. Yeah, with this line.
If you're going to try to bury when I get a force here, you probably do have to play the short run. It's not a long run. There's probably 3 feet between the back of the Yellowstone and the front of the blue. It's not like you're likely to miss the stone in the rings altogether.
No, certainly not. It's not as much weight as I thought they were going to throw at this. I thought they were really going to kill it. They do want to maybe something.
I think they're trying to get the chisel under the guard, but you got to get by the guard first. This was not the way to miss this shot. That wasn't enough weight to get it through if he hits it.
Yeah, that's disappointing. When they first started shaping up there and deciding what they were going to aim at, it was like my first thought. It's like, well, that's the only shot you want to avoid. So, how can we avoid this shot, right? As much as sometimes it's not the best to think negatively, but that was really the only outcome there that Team King could have played that was catastrophic to a certain extent. So that's certainly disappointing. Comes down to the execution on the weight, you're right. But yeah, that comes down to the play calling too, right? Yeah, it's definitely
selection of the shot. If you're playing that shot, you're playing to make sure that it's no worse than a blank. If you really wanted to get the force, you probably had to play the run. You can't be wishy-washy on that shot. We just have to hit it, roll open, and let him have his blank. If you're playing for the force, I think you were playing the other shot. Gives Brent Pierce a chance to draw. Just needs a bite of the 8-foot. He can put up another crooked number. He had 3 in the second. With this draw, it'll be 2 more in the fourth. Brent Pierce now with a 5-1 lead after 4 ends of play. Jayden King will have last rock in the 5th.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Fifth end underway here. First stone being brought into the top of the 4-foot. Brent Pierce with a 4-point lead here. The corner guard goes up, and as we watch the script unfold to start this fifth end, I think, Marty, you were taking a peek at the other semifinal.
Yeah, you can just kind of see it out of the corner of our screen there when we take that wide angle coming back from commercial, but that's Abe and Shu, Japan and China, respectively. Shu has a 4-2 lead here. Very entertaining game. They have taken 2-2 spots, and Abe's just one apiece in the first and third. So Abe with the hammer in the fifth and down by 2. So again, the winner of this game plays the winner of that one. That final can be watched, of course, here on Curling Zone, Curling Stadium. So yeah, just a quick update there, and certainly a tighter game than this one right now, but there's still lots to be played in both games.
We didn't get very far into the script while you were going through that. We've seen the corner guard. Here comes another
Want me to
one
vamp a little bit more? I can
into the rings in the middle. I will be interested to see, I must say. We saw already in the third end, Jayden King playing double corners. So you have to kind of think if he did it in the third end, and he's down 4 now, he's probably going to do it in the fifth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, playing the second corner guard to the other side. That's always interesting to me too. There's been a little bit of an evolution in the free guard zone where you've seen some teams, when they're playing the double corners, will elect to play them on the same side. This is the more traditional way to do it, where you split the house. You have to make sure that at least one of them is wide enough that you've still got a draw path to the button, though.
Mm-hmm. Splitting them, considering the height of these two blue rocks, you might be able to get a kind of nice hit and roll over either side. So gives you options for sure, as you see Pierce just try to protect the middle, protect those two blue rocks.
Yeah, Brent, this is, again, it's kind of the same thing I talked about 2 ends ago. If you've got a good enough situation in the middle, you might throw a guard here, and that's the call. It's going to be a tight guard. If you're missing, you're missing in. If those were staggered or not lined up, he may well bring a third one into the rings. And you're not doing this to try to steal. You're just doing this to put rocks in the middle that Jayden's going to have to deal with at some point in time. And, well, he's dealing with those. You try to deal with the corners. It's not just a script. There's a little bit of cat and mouse always going on in these ends. You're trying to keep the opposition busy where you want him to be. He's trying to get you to play on the corners. They don't mind missing deep. They probably don't like leaving it angled like that. There's a pocket.
That's kind of an awkward spot, and yeah, I see maybe just not even quite going there yet for King.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going there now. I mean, you hit the one, the two blues that are right together, just hit it right on the nose. The back one's not going anywhere, and you sit in the pocket of the other two. It's going to peel one of your corner guards likely, and then you just come around the other one. This works okay too. You could play that. I don't think he's guarding the middle again, so You can play that same shot later. You got to bury this.
Taken off on them too. Oh, poor Dylan. You know, they were just joking with him about him maybe sneaking a little snack. He was just chewing something, and now he's had a big sweep. Yeah, he's gonna slow down and let this be a card. Fair enough. Oh, I mean, yeah, up now. I don't think Cody's gonna miss this twice if you throw one up there again.
Well, you know, the double peel is not easy. I mean, the stagger they're tight together. Peeling the other one doesn't really help.
Right. You don't want to hit this too thick where you have that guard maybe go a little bit in towards the middle. But first shot here from Cody. Been checking the comments. The pride of Thunder Bay, Ontario. A little misleading with the playing out of BC and having the Vancouver Canadians hat, but we'll take your word for it.
On the brush from the inside right away. If he gets to the nose, he'll leave a corner guard up. He actually going to cross. He might leave a few guards up.
Yeah.
I think you have to hit that blue one now. Because you have to have a way to deal with the one that's now under a guard. Key here, you want to hit this just pretty much right on the nose. The back blue will go. This one will move over just an inch or two because they're staggered, and you should stay frozen in a pocket. And that's how you get out that blue that's behind the cover later on. Boy, this got tight for Lion early, though. Doing a good job to hold it.
Yeah, great sweep here from Del Conte.
This is going to curl too much. He's going to catch the other stone. You did not want to touch that stone.
Lucky little roll, though, eh?
Well, yes, except it rolled for fourth shot.
Yeah, I mean, at least it didn't go too far. To see how much upward momentum it had. A lot more than I think with that weight, but yeah, just could have skated right back up.
You know, and if he doesn't touch that wider of the three stones, he's golden. But it just touched that enough that it sent the shooter spinning. They were wondering how much they could see. I think if whoever's in the hacks was crouched down, I don't think he even knows there's a stone back there. It looks to be dead buried. Brent Pierce taking a look, and that matters because it is, I'm pretty sure it's fourth shot. He's talking about just playing the straight guard. You could hit and roll on the guard too. Get another guard that way. But if you guard what's in the center, it turns things around here, and Jayden King's got some work to do. I don't think you just have to play a straight guard, though. You could always hit and roll off the corner guard, and then you've got a play on that Yellowstone eventually if you need it too.
Again, another instance where this team is spoiled for choice.
Yeah. Well, and part of what might be prompting this discussion is only 4 stones left to come for your opposition, and there's 3 rocks that he's got to deal with. So maybe you're not worried about that one in the 12-foot at all.
Right. Yeah, do you need to be?
Yeah. Matt's idea is to come into the other blue. I don't think you need to roll that far. I don't think you want to move that guard at all. But if you could just hit and roll to the center line, you're not worried about the double. It's not an attempt at killing that yellow in the rings. No.
Just getting that roll to something nice.
And just so that rock's open.
And imagine that we're seeing Matt here also say, look, like if I manage to miss this and it rolls into the rings, that's not bad too. If you don't throw something too crazy at it. But yeah, okay, maybe just the straight guard.
Straight guard's aggressive, but it's not a horrible call. It's, again, there's 3 blues that he's got to deal with. As long as you don't leave him the double in the middle, he doesn't have a lot of rocks left to try to deal with 3, because you also get to throw 4 rocks yet.
more discussion as we get down there.
Well,
Come down. Come down.
I think he got to the hacks and said that third shot stone is wide open.
Yeah, right.
So I think what they're probably worried about is Jayden playing the hit and roll in off that one. But still, if you've guarded shot rock at the top of the forefoot, I'm not sure how that gets him much.
And we could see, well, we'll get the overhead view here of that rock that's just on the edge of the 8-foot. But you see there, it's just behind the tee. So if he does do that hit and roll, that's got to be pretty good, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, he could roll to the back one too.
Yeah.
The problem is he's still going to have to deal with that stone at the top of the forefoot at some point in time. Now, if you're worried he's going to hit that one at the back, that might be where, because Matthews wanted to play this shot all along.
yeah, I know.
and it might be a case of he said, well, ours is open, so he can hit it. It doesn't matter that it's third shot. So they're going to play the hit on the guard. You can get both with this. You can get rid of the guard and roll in front of your own. They keep talking about rolling right into the blue. I don't think you want to roll that far.
No, yeah, you don't. Definitely some tolerance though in where you roll. You know, even if you hit that blue, it wouldn't be like the absolute worst case scenario.
No, it wouldn't.
But this is.
If you could roll to just touch center, I think you're in pretty good shape.
It's a risky call, but you know you're in such a good position in that 4-foot shape, so it's worth a try. Great execution. Saw it, wanted it, and yeah, it rolled a hair, but you just see there. Sure, there's a little bit of that blue poking out, but is there enough for you to get to nose if you're Jayden King? Like, probably not.
No, I don't think so.
So you gotta just play with that rock in the top 4 for now. So now we're switching into the third stones here for Team King and Dylan DePage. Maybe he's just burping up that snack he really quickly had earlier in this end. Trying to focus and make a really clutch hit and roll here. Out wide. This has got to be pretty precise.
It's not
It's not the biggest weight either. Just enough to just redirect it here.
They're losing it. That was not a very aggressive sweep at all and just barely touched it.
Yeah, just the weight selection, I totally get it. You kind of almost want to just kind of tick it and come over, but you know, it wouldn't hurt you to play a little bit extra weight there for sure. Because now it's a hit and roll, and it's this is not going to be looking good here for Team King. Team Pierce with a great opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was a communication issue, whether they didn't know the weight that was coming down, but boy, coming over the hog line, he's still just cleaning it, and they lost the line.
And a great chance here too for this team and for Blandford just to throw just about the same thing you did. You know, like you maybe throw a little bit more in this case, but you know, similar line. You know, you really want to avoid teams getting the chance to throw something similar twice. And yeah, this could be really juicy if they manage to get a big roll across the face of that blue, even, right? Or even just touching the blue back.
That's what I was thinking. You might throw a little more weight here, try to come across and touch the front end of that blue stone and touch it back a little.
Lots of ways to make this one too. I held out on him a little bit, but this should be a decent roll. Oh boy, that is a clutch spot.
Yeah, if you made that, and I mean that blue stone's moved back now, even if you could make that now, those two blues are queued up to go through the button.
Yeah, that's a good camera angle to just kind of show what Jayden's thinking here, and just kind of that. We're getting into weirdo territory here with this slash, but yeah, it might be the shot to try to get rid of these rocks.
Yeah, I think he's thinking we're in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, at least you're running back something that's not blue, and he's right. If you do manage to get to that top blue, man, that could stick there, and who knows, you might even be able to use it later. It's worth a try here for Dylan DePage's last in this fifth end. Line should be close.
Oh, you wouldn't have thought you could hit that too thin. He actually did just touch the one at the top of the 8 and split the blues up a little bit more.
It was funny looking at it, saying, yeah, could he just manage to skinny those guards? And yeah, you're right. How could you possibly? That is such an unfortunate miss for this team. A draw in for 5, and this is the right call to try to take over this side. Because then Jayden will have to come along the other side, the outturn side, and try to, I think, put one just behind those staggered ones for the top 4, I guess. And then after that, it's let's see what happens. I guess he
depends on how you want to play it. I think Jayden has to blast something to make sure that he's got a shot to score.
Yeah, I'm ahead of myself. I was thinking it was his last. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, he would want to blast that out. Yeah.
This is one where Brent could even be a little short here.
Totally. Yeah, tolerance light for sure.
Yeah. If you stay wide enough and you're short here, Jayden still can't get to the edge of the button on this side. Well, this looks like it's going to be tight to those blue guards.
Wouldn't mind a little rub, actually. Yeah, maybe they're calling that. Oh, that's coming in actually pretty nice. Over curled on them a hair, but to be in this cluster, you're right. King is going to have to blast something likely, so this just makes this even slightly harder. So
he should be blasting. He's playing the draw to the back, so this is going to be. This is a must-make shot. If you don't make it here, Brent throws a guard on that side, and the game might be over.
Yeah, I do see the reasoning here from Jayden King, in that, if you do blast it, here's just a question for you, Shawn. Like, do you try to hit the outside of that cluster 3, maybe?
Yep. Well,
and then
into the middle of the cluster and have it spin out. It doesn't matter whether you kill it. You have to open up a path to get your single point. And trying to make it on your first one, it's like, boy, this has to be good. There's still a pretty good chance you're not getting any more than 1, but if you don't make this good, if you're not shot rock after this, you might not have a shot on the last one.
Yeah,
you might not have a shot to score. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll block the draw on the other side, which is maybe possible as well. You just need to be full 4. This will be a good team shot if they're able to turn this around.
It's tight to the blue, but I don't think they want to sweep.
Just smidge heavy, maybe. It's coming in nice. Wow. Not bad at all. It might be close.
I think the blue is shot rock.
Oh boy, that is a great shot. If not, blue does have the chance to nudge that up, but let's watch that again.
Yeah, he could. He could do that anyway, for sure.
Great patience on this. I mentioned Jayden just throwing them a little too heavy, but just great line call to get past those 2. Yeah, solid shot. I mean, tough to be throwing against however many blues you're seeing there. I guess it is. I guess it really is all 7 at this point you're staring at. But yeah, great little shot. You see them really trying to eye this up. My inkling here, Shawn, is that what if you just try to throw a heavy draw into that blue one at the top of the cluster and just nudge yours forward, and then your shooter's just going to roll over to Brent's side there, and hell, you might even get lucky enough, you might move that other blue over, make the draw on that side harder,
Yeah, well, and if you're not shot rock now, that's what you play. If you're shot rock now, you could just draw right beside your own.
Yeah. But just to be, I mean, I know it's like, it's tough. This team felt like they were in a position to ice the game now, and you're kind of in this, oh crap, well, I thought we were going to score 6 or whatever. But just, if you're unsure, just the nudge wouldn't really hurt you too much, right? Like just that little tap up. But looks like they're going on the other side.
He's playing the guard.
Oh, I see their try. So they must thought there's.
He's sure there's shot rock, and he's just going to play the guard, take that draw path away.
Interesting. Pierce looking to go up 6-1 here if he makes this draw good and makes it extra difficult for King on his last. But yeah, so they're seeing that little nudge. They're seeing a little nudge, but I don't know. Maybe they're trying to see with weight. I don't know. Might take a lot for Brent to be convinced there, yeah. Guard it is.
Yeah, but if you're playing the guard, you're actually not guarding the edge of the forefoot. You're actually guarding just outside the edge of the forefoot. You got to take the draw path away, not the... Like if he just leaves this guarding the open ice at the edge of the forefoot, he just comes around it. It's a come around draw. You got to be a little bit wider than that. You almost want to, if there was a 4-foot line, you'd kind of like to split it.
Yeah. Yeah. Final stone here for Pierce in the 5th end. Quite the little grouping of blue rocks trying to really put the pressure on here. It's coming across that 4-foot line.
Yeah, they're going to need some finish here. I don't think that's far enough over myself. Jayden's looking at the around the horn. I don't think he's looked at it yet. I think the draw is still there.
Yeah, it could be. Yep. But maybe they aren't convinced that they're shot either. It might be a good way to, yeah, you can see in the page there. Gesturing towards the draw.
It's only for one anyway. So
yeah.
The around the horn is only for one. He's just thinking he could come in there and tap his own up a little bit, but
yeah. Tough situation for him for sure. I mean,
it's the hardest shot you could find for one. There's a good look at it. The guard has just got the edge of the 4-foot. Well, if you needed to bury a rock there, you could.
Yeah.
So make the draw to the T line, you get your point.
Take the wide path. It's tough when you're shooting against 8 rocks. The other team,
yeah,
you have one, you know, just generally.
This would be a tough shot. If you thought you had a shot for 2, you might take it. There's no shot for 2 there.
So it looks like the draw, and yeah, it's hard to tell exactly. I know the camera angle is just slightly so askew, so we're, you know, north of the tee line here from the top down angle. But yeah, judging by how these teams have played it, you know, blue sitting 1, and the draw to the full, like a real good chunk of the 4-foot here from King would get him a point.
Final stone, 5th end. Jayden King needing to put this right on the tee line and then see if he's got enough of the 4-foot to get his single point. Both brushers on this. He's got the line to get by the guard. Now can they get it to the tee line?
It might just be enough. I wouldn't even curl it. I'd just keep it straight. A big scrub, and what a clutch draw that is. Holy cow.
Jayden King puts it on the corner of the button. They're going to take one more look around the outside, but see whether or not they feel it's close enough to measure.
If that's 2 for yellow, that would be one of the biggest. You see them gesturing for the measure. That might be one of the biggest turns in an end in recent memory, to be throwing against those 8 blue rocks just clustered all around the key area. Wow, yeah, if this comes up 2 yellow, that would be quite a result, and we would have quite the game on our hands here going into the 6th. I guess we'll just stick around for the measure briefly, but we just talk about that draw weight from Jayden. You know, there is something special about that kind of ability as skips, you know, to be able to throw something like that, the wider path, and, you know, just dialing back a few feet from what he threw last time, and good adjustment from the sweepers. You know, you saw Del Conte keep that rock out right away. Man, some good movement on it. There was just a great team shot overall. I wonder if this be for 2.
Nope. You could see it bend. It's just the single point. Jayden King now closes within 3. 3 ends left to play. We'll see him try to steal something when we come back for the 6th.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Band has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Underway here in the 6th, the first stone, that center guard. Come around attempt you just saw come to the top of the forefoot. Just edge to edge with the guard, really didn't get anything underneath, and now Daniel Del Conte will be asked to try to come around, maybe sit on top of that blue or dead berry.
Yeah, still can't quite get over that that end we just saw. You know, just potential momentum swing we could have saw out of that, and I guess not even a momentum swing. That could have just been game over. And Jayden King with just some incredibly clutch drawing. Let's see a replay of that again. You just see just the right amount of judgment. I do like keeping it straight there. You know, I think they were really worried about the line, but you're bang on, Shawn. Like, look how much that over curls over that guard. Like that, you know, it was totally there the whole time. Great call on the team to obviously avoid doing the all around the world. But yeah, there was nothing but room there. Yeah, good sweeping, and yeah, you really have to appreciate Jayden for, you know, certainly struggling early in the game with draw weight and costing his team, but just coming back and recentering himself and finding the right fundamental change to throw not one but really two of them. You know, that first draw for a few other licks of the broom, you know, that could have been a two spot, which is phenomenal shot making.
Three stones in the front of the house now, just the one center guard. I'm almost surprised here, and maybe it had something to do with where they put the first guard. Like, the first guard is kind of in that halfway spot, but you're 3 down with 3 ends to play. I'm a little surprised he didn't throw 2 centers. But the first one's not in a great spot to throw the second one. It's hard to get maximum separation when the first one's halfway.
Yeah, you're right.
This is the 5th stone of the end, and it's very polite of Brent Pierce to stand back there and wait for this stone to end, because I'm pretty sure he's going to run up and peel the guard. he could be standing beside it right now.
Exactly.
Almost doesn't matter where this ends up.
And a nice little pile here. Top 8, top 4. Yeah, nothing quite good for Pierce, Yeah.
If they were playing with clocks, he'd have got up there faster. But
I mean, if they were playing with clocks, they wouldn't be talking so much about vice stones, which I appreciate. Look, the attention to detail, you should be talking about not just the last shot. You should talk about all the shots. I appreciate the commitment to knowing, especially those specific points at the end where, you know, and maybe just, you know, when you sort of see the very top level, maybe they're just so polished they don't need to. But I really do appreciate the conversation and showing fans at home what really are those, like, hinge points in the ends, you know? So I do appreciate it. Is he on a clock? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He also took a pee during this game, so I feel like that would also be some sort of violation. I don't know the rules intimately, but we'll be the judge of that. Someone else will be the judge of that, I should say. So nice little peel away, and yeah, for Jayden, is it just to sort of come on top of those blues then? Is that the idea?
Oh, I would hope not. He's got a guard here.
Yeah, I mean, just like on top generally, just like in front of it. I mean, like.
I think you want to keep the yellows in line, because if you leave a stagger on the yellows, he might try to go after all of them. You play the blues later, but for now you have to line up the 3 yellow rocks.
Let's bring that over just a little bit. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Now this is interesting, and it doesn't surprise me, and I like this. Here you see Dylan DePage has made his way to the back. They're going to talk about, and you'd certainly see them do this if they're on a clock. They're not on a clock, but you got to make your decision. When do we make our move in the race? Mm-hmm. And so that's what they're talking about back there right now. What's our move and when do we do it?
I'm going to keep this rock out. Oh, it does fall just ever so slightly. Okay, good. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, when do you...
You make your move too early, and it's too many chances for them to blast rocks out. If you make it too late, well, it's too late. So timing really matters. You throw one too many guards, and Brent Pierce decides, we can't peel them anymore. We're just going to go around and get 3 here. And you chuckle, but you've seen it happen, right? And so that was their discussion point, I'm sure, when Dylan went back there. Is okay, when do we make our move, and what is it?
A guard for now, for sure.
I would think at least one more guard. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice switch there. Yeah.
And it might be 2 more guards, to be honest, because they've always got the double tap on the yellow. Mm-hmm. And if you could ever double tap the yellow just perfect, you could probably leave the first stone, the one you're going to raise back, you might be able to leave it even staggered on the blue.
Yeah.
Which then means
totally.
There's no good run.
Yeah, good eye.
And if you think that's there, you could throw another guard yet, let them peel one more, and you play it on Jayden's first. And then they really don't have the time to get out of that mess that you could get them into.
Matt Blanford with the peel here. Yeah, it's a good call.
Well, if it's there to do that, and the angles are always a little misleading, but because that yellow is a little deeper than the blue, but from the camera angle, it looks like if you ever tapped it straight back, you could leave the blue-yellow hooked. So they are going to throw one more guard.
Yeah, certainly a favorable cluster here for Team King. Wait for your move, like you said.
Yeah. We might see a little discussion from the Pierce team. Now, I think they're still going to peel the guard, but you know that they're not going to throw another guard after this, so you might have a little discussion at least about, is there something else we could play?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe no discussion yet.
Nope,
Curse the
not even
commentator.
think about it. Well, they did it a couple ends ago. It's the situation here is, they're going to have to come into the house eventually, but with a 3-point lead in last rock, you're right. Maybe they're just not going to talk about it. We're just going to wait till they do whatever they do, and then we're going to react to that. Mm-hmm. If they've got to play the little double tap, that's still a very precise shot. There's one of the old sayings in curling: "Easy me, hard you." You're playing the easy shot here. You're just playing a peel, and Jayden King's going to have to play a tougher shot in that double tap.
Mm-hmm. Just so, but yeah, it's a good point in just having that easier of the two. Now, what were they looking at? Trying to get rid of the blues that way?
I don't think so. I think they were think so, but he's out there like he's looking at it. I mean,
well, I don't know. Yeah,
like
great if you make it, but they're they're frozen, aren't they?
Yeah, he's talking about doing it as a slash on the top yellow, so he'd be coming in at the angle. But still, that's probably at best getting you to a force. Does a force help you?
Right. If you tap up now, yeah, okay, guard one more maybe is the call.
You could, if you tap up now, you've got to be able to get it hooked.
Yeah, right. That certainly looks like that's possible here.
It does. It still does to me, I think.
So just basing on gestures, I think that's guard again, eh? And
yeah, well, and I think part of it is they're sure that Brent Pierce is going to... Okay, I'm just going by the gestures because we can't hear them, but they talked about that slash, so I think what they're thinking is we guard, he peels the guard, we play the slash to sit 2 or 3.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, you know what? It might be worth it. That might be worth it.
Yeah. It's not the way I see for stealing, but...
We're going to move on this. This is a great sweep from Henry. Yeah. Good little spot for it. Maybe time for a little chat here for Team Pierce. Yeah, do you do that? I don't know. I guess you've maybe even seen him eye up that slash. So it's like, okay.
You can have the slash.
Yeah, let him do it. Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, then
If,
you
I don't
push
think
one
he's,
up, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's playing the slash. I think that was, if anything, just a decoy.
Well, what I'm trying to say is
I like the out-turn draw myself. You come around, touch the side of the blue, kind of push it into the pocket. So now the blue that shot rock comes up a couple of inches, but more importantly, you pop that other yellow out into the open, and now his tap's no good.
Mm-hmm. What I was just going to say is, you know, if that was a decoy or was not, like, is tapping up this blue rock that takes that shot away, and it makes sure you have one deep there that you can't really get rid of.
Well, and like I said, you could chip that on the outside of the blue and push that yellow so that, you know, the lineup for the double tap is not so good anymore.
Totally. This shot takes more away from them than it really gives you, but you can just sink one right in there, and then, yeah, you've got options on your last, anyways, to try to score more.
It'd be a tough shot for Jayden just to get shot rock, but
yeah, it would be.
The question, if you're playing that out turn around, is just how much weight do you want to throw? How far do you want to pop the yellow one? You don't want to move yours behind the tee line for sure.
Yeah,
that depends on how thick you hit it too. Like the thinner you hit the blue, you're not going to move your own rock very far because you're going to be pretty thick onto the yellow.
I'm not entirely convinced you can move the yellow rock over too much. Like, if you're gonna throw the kind of intended weight where you want that blue rock in the top 4 to just be nudged up slightly, you know, I don't know if that's gonna be enough weight. Okay, never mind. We're peeling. Never mind. Forget about it. We'll talk about it next time. There's gonna be something interesting from Jayden here, I'd imagine, on his last. But yeah, do you like this peel, or do you think it's worth going after this now, Shawn?
The peel's okay. You're never wrong peeling a guard when you're up 3. I'm sure they went through the options of what they're worried about Jayden possibly playing. I don't see how he sits more than 1. Well, sorry, he could play the slash. The problem is that he's not leaving a tough shot at all if he plays the slash.
And they're going to get a pretty thick chunk of it, but it should be enough to roll over. Okay. What kind of magic does this guy have in his hat now? Like, yeah. What are you seeing first thought here for Team King?
That double tap.
Yeah.
Same double tap I've been seeing all along.
Oh, it's like the only thing with that is you'd still give them the chance to promote a blue rock. I think they're just sort of saying, is there a way for us to just not give them a shot on their last? But I'm not sure if that's... You ever seen that many brooms in action at once?
Oh, probably. I just
wasn't something you were looking for at the time, I guess.
Probably not, no. I don't see anything good happening out of the slash. Like, the most likely scenario, if you make the slash good, is you sit quarter frozen on the yellow and it's a nose hit double for an easy single.
Yeah. I'd imagine what they're looking at is if you throw some weight and do yellow across to blue, is there a way for you to somehow get really lucky and actually promote that yellow slightly? You know, like could you actually move both blues and then have the rock like just sort of just graze the yellow slightly up? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to sort of figure out exactly what kind of contact they want to make with those rocks in the top four. That isn't just exactly that, and exactly what you've been calling, Shawn, is just that direct tap up. So they do eventually see that, I think.
Well, I'm sure they've seen it the whole end. They've always known it was there. It was just a question of when do you play it or if you play it. If you were playing the double tap, I would have liked to play it earlier, though, because the yellow that's going to be on the shot rock is going to be a piece exposed, likely.
Mm-hmm.
The other possibility is you could play the tap just ever so slightly across the face. So tap yellow just over the top of the yellow. Try to touch the side of the blue. And that would mess up the angle on the two blues. Mm-hmm. It would have it going away from the button. You're still only throwing about, 1, 2, and you're touching a third rock. You'd still have to have good back four out of your hand. Lose a couple of feet on the first contact.
Oh, this is another game-changing shot here from the skipper.
He's playing the hit on the blue. Blue onto blue, just stuff it. Oh no, he is playing the run. The angle run.
Drawing it up, so this will be quite a bit of weight. Some good execution on this, and Team King might be in good shape. Let's see what kind of result we get. Got to be awfully precise. Wow, nice shot. To sit 3 out of that. Now, does Pierce have anything with this shape? I don't know.
He's got the button.
Yeah, I guess so. He can't really activate that at the top 12. Well, he saw it, he made it. That's quite the shot. Look at this, the movement on those blues. Just how the shooter rolled over. Perfect. Yeah, I don't think they see much other than the button.
No.
Great shot.
Yeah, and the problem for Jayden is this is a pretty makeable shot on this ice. We've seen everybody by this point in the weekend knows the draw to the button path, and there's nothing in his way. Even if he comes up a little short, it's no worse than 1. Can't see him missing the 8-foot. But stranger things have happened. He is shooting against 3.
Skips have certainly been under pressure in the back half of this game thus far. Now it's Pierce's turn.
Final stone. He is facing 3 here. Shot Rock biting the button. If he's going to score, he's got to have a solid piece of the button himself. They jumped on this right away. Still haven't really left it much. The inside brusher's been down the whole way.
Looks like they're maybe just worried about line, but this should come in pretty nice. Great shot.
Puts it right on the pin. Brent Pierce picks up a single point. Now has a 6-2 lead after 6 ends of play. It will be Jayden King with last rock in the 7th. Oh, yep, Jayden King with last rock in the 7th. Fist bumps. I thought that was handshakes.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Shawn, Joyce, Marty, Thompson with you here live from Vernon. It's the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic men's semifinal. And you know, I was just thinking through the break, I should probably have just announced the first 4 shots. We could have run a few extra commercials and just come back after the first 4 rocks were stopped. First one to the middle of the house, maybe a foot deeper than they would have liked. They'll bring another one to the top of the 4 foot now. The quarter guard thrown, and you know there's going to be a second corner guard thrown.
Tell me more.
Brent's going to throw another one to the middle of the house. This time, I think it's probably coming in. I don't think there's any chance he's throwing a guard this time.
Yeah, it's just, you know, the methodology of the corner guards, and I know that King is a younger team, and you know, it certainly is by the book to play that way, and maybe I'm just conditioned from playing so many years of doubles. It's like sometimes you can have those little clusters like we had in the last end, or even the end before. It's like, boy, that's another great way to score a bundle too, right? Is have some of those instances. As much as it's nice and wide here, you're also playing this Pierce team who hasn't missed many hits. I think, in fact, maybe, I guess I can think of one where they went to tap that one back at the top 12. So, you know, you're ultimately giving sort of this nice wide space. Can you tell him, maybe I'm just bored of the corner guards at this point. You know, maybe I just want something different. Maybe that, no, you know what, I'm just going to rescind everything I said. I'm just bored of the corner guards. That's all.
No, I like the corner guards. You got to play the corner guards.
And doubles, and as you mentioned there, Shawn, you know, they're electing to play on either side. I think every time, right? I don't think they've done 2 corner guards.
Yeah, they've They've played them opposite sides every time, which, you know, that's fine. That's the more traditional way to do it. But you do see a lot of teams, especially with the big curl, they'll play both to the same sides. And the thinking there by throwing both corner guards to the same side is you're not cutting off both paths to the button. You want to establish one or two behind those corner guards and then make sure you've still got a shot to the button with your last one. And on a lot of these ice surfaces where you see such big late swing, a corner guard could be in the way. They didn't want that, for the Pierce team, they didn't want that last one in front of the rings. But now going to try to come around it a little bit. May not want to dead bury this either because that shot stone at the back of the button would be fully exposed if you're dead buried here. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good shape. In the 7th end, you know, King's going to be looking for a big score here. You know, you're going to need a bundle, so execution through these first couple shots is quite critical. We've seen the odd miss of this team in the early parts of the lineup and through the middle, so this is going to be a big test for these three right here that we see to try to prop up the team. And, you know, a 3 spot certainly not out of the question, so we'll see what they're able to pull out here.
Definitely could have played towards the middle right away, and I get what he's thinking. You know, you throw up the corner guards, you want to make sure you get a chance to use them. The problem there is, and you saw it a couple ends ago, Matt Blanford made the hit and roll to the middle. The middle becomes tough to deal with. And there is a guard off the center line there. You could come down, tap that, leave a pocket. I think now Brent Pierce just peels the corner guard, right?
Yeah, most certainly.
And if he makes the roll to the middle, you've got extra cluster in the middle.
Appreciate all the folks watching here today and appreciate all the comments we've seen on YouTube there. I'll carve over here. I'll get a decent chunk and they will.
Yeah, he was thinking as a plan B to stay for a center guard, but he rolls all the way across out of play. I like his first idea. He's looking at freezing the back one, but I like tap to a pocket.
Yeah, I
don't think you want to roll over. I think you're trying to get close to the nose. He's looking to come around the corner and looking to call an unofficial timeout. And, come down and talk this over.
How many timeouts they got at this level again? I'm kidding. I'm joking.
With no blocks, you 64 if you need them.
4 timeouts. That's one way of thinking of it. Yeah, it's tough, right? You do the corner, and you know the team is already. They might even feel like they've been burned a little bit on this on the sort of corner play thus far. But if you make it right, you're in a good shape, I think.
Yeah,
right?
It's okay, but keep in mind that first stone at the end is behind the tee line. These rocks in the middle actually can help you just as much as a corner guard, and you do have to deal with them at some point in time. You tap this stone back, leave a pocket in the back of the button, and maybe Brent Pierce goes after it. He could do some of the work in the middle for you. If he ignores it, you've always got the tap up.
Mm-hmm. And Pierce will just hit that yellow one on the outside. Yeah, it's tough, right? Sometimes when you're trying to strategize scoring points, you know, sometimes it just comes down to like what's your realistic like scoring radius, you know? And when you see these rocks in the 4-foot, it's like, okay, realistically, what's our radius? You know, edge of 8 makes sense if you're able to clear these out, but like in reality, you know, that's not always going to happen. And I do understand why they you know, I guess we're being a little too harsh because, you know, they need to score 4 points in this end. So this does make sense.
Yeah, except I don't think Brent's hitting the open one if you bury this.
Yeah.
If he hits the open one, he's giving you the chance for 3. He's either peeling the guard or he's throwing a center guard.
Mm-hmm.
No, and he's going to make a liar out of me. He's going to hit the open one.
Well, like you said, there's a chance for 3.
If you hit the open,
I'll hold you to it.
If you hit the open one, there's a chance for 3 because you come around again. see him eyeing up the one across the house.
Yeah.
If we hit it right on the nose, are we third? And do we leave an in off?
Might be reading lips there. I'm not sure if he said nose, but
Yeah, if he's hitting it, he wants nose. He certainly doesn't want to start rolling closer to those blues and cluster them. He's worried about leaving a double.
yeah, it's a good way to access those ones if you roll just a little bit over. So yeah, you see that extra weight, or the extra line rather, just to ensure that it's that nose hit. Hopefully be third. This has been a fantastic game thus far. Certainly not over yet, even considering the score line. Some execution needed here in the 7th to carve this over. Get close to nose and potentially be third. And it rolls just outside of that range. What if you just play something that's not a ton of weight and just tap that back slightly and leave those two blues behind?
Yeah, that's what
To the
I'm talking
back.
about
Just
all
like
along.
a-
And you could still play that.
Yeah.
You could come around the corner again. Problem, it'd be a lot more tempting to come around the corner if you were sure you had a double on the blues. And the corner of that one is just under the guard, so I don't know that you can make a double. You've always got the angle run in with your last one.
Mm-hmm. Just saying that now just because,
I
if you're
wouldn't
able to
mind-
push those back a little bit, you could maybe activate that yellow rock in the corner on the side, which I know he's worried about right now. It's like, how do you bring that in the scoring area?
It's in the scoring area. It's in the scoring area. Because if this was your last rock right now and you don't think you could make a double through the middle, you're running that corner guard in. It's a slash double.
Mm-hmm.
And that rock is already on the board. So now, if you want to make it a little easier to get it, you try to get these blues in a little better spot to have a shot at a double. Oh, I don't know if you want to kill it.
Well, then you get kind of a roll over, and maybe you're.
And you'd leave a double on the yellows. it's
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's tough. There's really nothing that's too nice here.
just heavy draw. Just move it back to dead even. And what does he hit?
Yeah. Oh, I agree. We'll be looking for a pretty decent chunk of this rock. Doesn't look like it's the heaviest either.
If he gets to the nose, he could actually move them both.
That's just about what they drew up, just a little short on where they wanted to tap that blue back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, no double there now. Yeah, draw into there and nullify that one. Yeah. What do you see right now? What do you like? Just throwing into the corner like that, or?
I'm not sure what you're getting thrown into the corner. I mean, you make it, that stone's never coming back into the board, but
I'd be tempted to just throw weight at that yellow rock right where the broom is.
You could just pick it out, yeah. How aggressive do you want to play? I mean, if you threw a center guard right now, what does he do?
Something soft, just looks like they're just drawing around. Or is this a bit of weight? Oh, it's up for sure. Got to move it off this guard.
Well, he could end up moving the guard to do what I was just talking about. And needed to move it a little farther if he's going to play the guard. I'm not sure he was getting anything off that shot, and he sure didn't help himself with what he did.
Rare miss from this team here in the 7th end. How does King capitalize? You open your mouth and yeah, I know it's tough. This is a difficult scenario.
He's got a few shots here. He's looking at the tap on the back one, which isn't a bad call because he hasn't looked at it yet. Maybe part of the reason he hasn't looked at it yet is because he doesn't want Brent to know he sees it. But there's the double off the one in the 12-foot. So you could play the back one, sit second, third, and fourth, knowing that you've got the double off that one later if you need it. You also could try to get with a freeze kind of just to the face of the shot rock. And then you want to leave the yellow-blue angle so that they might catch that one at the back of the 8-foot later. You need to have a way to bring that stone at the edge of the 8-foot back in. They didn't tap it far enough last time, or tapped it too far, depending on your point of view. Too far for my liking, but it's made the double on the blues tough.
Yeah, it has.
You could certainly freeze this on an angle where the double of the blues becomes easier.
Yeah, you could.
I'm not playing that now.
Again, it's worth just taking a peek at the scoreboard. Like, if they do, let's say they do make that in off somehow, boy, is that a good way to get 4. Like, good way to set you up here going into skip stones. But I know you. I know what you mean.
No, I think it's a last shot. I don't think you play it here. Because look at where your shooter's going to stay. It's going to stay fully open. He's going to hit and roll under. I don't mind this freeze. Now, it's not just about the freeze. You want to kind of leave the yellow-blue angled so that it might catch the back one.
Yep. This is the last of the third stones. Then it's up to the skips here in the 7th end. This is for a spot in the final here in Vernon. Final stone. And this in here for the third Dylan LePage.
You get a good angle here, and it's going to be... Brent Pierce might have to make a decision on how he wants to approach the rest of this end. If they get the angle set up here, it's hard to not give him a shot for 2, and you might just have to make sure that 2 is the worst it could be.
Yeah, right. It's coming up on them pretty quick.
They got to get by their own at the top of the 4-foot.
Just seemed to catch on them a little too early there. And weight maybe wasn't perfect, but not the worst spot for that yellow rock.
Yeah, there's some room between them, but the angle is good. I'm seeing freeze the pocket.
Yeah, some kind of protection along that path for sure. And the freeze might be the best way to do that. You're right.
If you get
just
the freeze,
just try to
it angles the yellow to go past it. So
touch them both.
If you just throw straight guard, he's going to play the run.
Yeah, throw it in there. Even if you manage to let's say you go for that exact pocket where you're touching both of the yellow rocks. Let's say you even bump back that yellow rock slightly. It might still work out for you, Because then
throw a bullet and get a double the yellows, but would you play that?
Oh God. Maybe I would. That's so risky though. You rip the guard.
It really is.
I think that's your highest risk.
Well, he's looking at playing a hit on the yellow, try to pass it by the blue. It's tough to pass it by the blue.
That's a great angle there. That's a great angle there to show just how difficult that would be for sure. Man.
Yeah, I think I'm freezing the pocket. Even if you don't curl enough and leave it lined up so that the blue yellow goes onto the blue, your shooter stays right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, and that's what makes that shot the right call, I think, Shawn, too, is just that there's a couple ways you'll just have something after anyways. Right now you don't have anything. That's a good way to set yourself up for your next.
They're still looking at trying to kill the stone that was just thrown.
Oh man.
It's tough to pass it by that stone at the back of the button.
Yeah, that's a big ask.
If you just miss the yellow that's sitting buried, I'm still not sure it doesn't touch that stone.
Well, started the skip stones here in the 7th.
The broom they're putting down looks like they are playing the freeze. Maybe a freeze tap.
There's a way you could be light as well. You know, there's a couple ways that this could still be tricky for Jayden, who's going to have to really attack whatever you throw this next shot. So,
well, and there's got to be in there somewhere, and maybe that's the reason why they want to play the tap, is he's always got that in-off double. The problem with that is even if he makes it, if you're just frozen, you blast yours on the next one if he makes that double, and the yellows maybe all go.
Right, yeah, right.
So that's why I don't think I'd be too worried about moving a yellow here. Just freeze the pocket. If he makes that double, you've got a way to blast yellows.
It's a great call. It's hard not to look at these 3 yellow rocks and scattered around and not try to triangulate them and how you're supposed to get them out, but you're bang on. If you could run something back, there's a chance to make some granite move for sure.
Boy, they've got to go on this. You need to keep your shooter in a spot where you can do something with it. With the last one, he's actually going to have to chisel off to do that. That's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, that was always a way to make that happen too, with that little, because you could see just a sliver of it from the opposite hack, and yeah, just get to that inside rock. Not a bad little setup.
So looking to hit his own yellow onto the blue, have the shooter come across it, and you need that catcher to grab it. Now, if you hit this right, it should actually clip that blue at the back of the 8-foot as well. So you could be sitting shot, second, fourth, and fifth with just that one that Brent just delivered. Might be the only blue left in the rings. It's actually not even critical to get the one on the edge of the 12-foot out. You could use it as a catcher. It's more important to get the stone at the back of the button to catch the one at the back of the 8. Just worry about hitting it in that line. Get the double at the back. Have the shooter roll across. Oh, I don't like this. You make this, he's got the double on the yellows. Because you can still see 2/3 of it.
Yeah, good point.
Maybe they don't think they can see enough of the yellow to get the double on the blues at the back. And that's a possibility. It's hard to tell from an overhead camera. You have to be at ice level to tell on that.
Yeah, there was just that quick glimpse there. We can't quite tell due to legs, but yeah, it doesn't look too good. Oh, Jayden, just move your right leg a little more. It's
close.
It is close.
It's hard to tell.
But it was very, very slight. So yeah, I just had that quick look after the shot was done. I don't exactly know, but they're maybe just seeing that's maybe their best bet. I don't know, man. This is that.
If it's there, it's what you play. If it's not there, well then yes, you have to find something else. I think the other thing they were talking about, and again, we're just guessing a bit based on how they're pointing their brooms, but where they were looking at on the other side. So as we look at the house now from behind Dylan, when they talked about slashing the other yellow into shot rock, is that they're hoping that the 2 yellows would leave lined up to the stone at the back of the 8-foot, and that's a possibility.
Yeah, that'd be tasty. Yeah. That move, what I will say, that would at least make this blue run back that Brent would have. It might make it harder, right? Because it wouldn't be like right now. It's just this pocket that he could just fire a rock into, and it's a difficult one, but he could get all three, right? Like that's still there. So
yeah.
These two at the top four, like you kind of have to move one of them, like. And even if he came around on there's a good angle. If he came around on the left side of the big picture there and just tap up, right? Like that, you have to get rid of this pocket that's in the top four. You just have to. So, I'm not sure you can do that either because it's just going to be sitting there. It's just those yellers are just going to be sitting there waiting to be removed. And, Pierce can get away with giving up a 3 in this end and being pretty happy. So, is that the kind of shot you want to leave him with? Maybe. That's King's thought is just make that, I think is to make that in off, right? Yeah, that's a good angle there. Do you think that's enough of that granite? I think it is.
I still like that shot in the middle if you think it'll catch the back one. So if it catches the back one, like I said, it doesn't even matter whether you roll all the way to the catcher or not. You're sitting 2, you're also sitting 4th and 5th. And Brent's got to do something. He doesn't have anything easy. You've still got the angle run into that only blue stone that's left in the rings.
Well, Jayden's been playing quite well today. Let's see if he can pull out another magic shot here in the 7th. First of 2.
This is already overcurled.
Okay, so a quick look here from Team Pierce.
They'll look around. I can't see how you don't play that angle slash.
Yeah. Yeah, just make contact and...
It's never worse than 2 after that. Even if you roll too far and you give them a little yellow on the blue, stick it right there. It's for 2. You're 2 up with coming home.
Yeah, very rarely in this kind of situation you get a chance to just get rid of one of those crucial shots the other team would need to.
I mean, if
score.
you could get, if you wanted to flirt with the guard, you could actually kill them both. But I don't know that you need to do that. Like half a rock stuffs it.
Yeah, right. Right. Stuffs it and crucially will keep that stone on the button that's been so evasive for Team King this end in place, and seeing how that would shape up, it'd be hard for them still to remove it. Like if you do get to that part of that rock, like the shooter might roll over, there might be 2 or 3 blues that they might have to, there might be 2 blues rather to get to that one that's in the, on the pin. So
I think they're talking about he's still got the in-off on the yellow now. It's actually a little thinner. So if they just stuff it, he's still got a shot for 2. I'm not sure that I'm worried about that. I just don't want him to have a shot for 3 if it's I'm Brent Pierce.
That's math for you. That's math for you. Okay, so yeah, that looks like that's what they're aiming up for, eh? Just run that blue.
Part of the discussion might have been, can you hit this right so that you play the blue onto the yellow, stuff it, and then have your shooter come across and kill that yellow so he doesn't have the in-off either.
Yeah.
Because then I don't think he might not have a shot for 2 then. If you dead stuff this, he's got the short run on the yellow, but his shooter wouldn't be in far enough. That's assuming you dead stuff it. You can't spin it off over the top at all to do that.
Yeah, getting the shooter to roll over there would be pretty close to about 100%.
That might have been what they were talking about when they were looking at that. You need mics to know for sure.
Lots of opportunity here at the end of the 7th end. Brent Pierce's last, running this blue into the yellows. And right
That
away, they're trying
is
to keep
tight.
it straight.
Tight and quiet.
That's great sweeping, though. Great line call. And they're going to control that quite well to have that roll, and even bumped it back. What a great set that is. Yellow will have that.
He's got the angle run. That's or the in-off. That's all he's got.
To go for the 2. So, yeah, great sweeping there. You can see right away Johnson on it, and good line call. Appreciate being conservative on that, because, again, wrecking is not what you want to end up doing. And getting that little bump off the yellow on the edge is a nice little bonus.
Yeah, he almost took everything away. If he pushes that yellow a little farther, I don't know what he's got. You know, it only stayed in play by a foot.
Well, again, this would be quite the shot to potentially score 2 and to keep his team in the game here in Vernon and in the semifinal.
Throwing the out turn here.
Got a good chunk of it.
Comes across, touches the stone, but not enough action to move it far enough. That's interesting because he threw the in turn on the first one, and that was just as flat. He threw the out turn. I think he's got 1, but I'm not sure 1's enough to keep playing.
It looks like it was just the 1 as well. That was a great attempt from Jayden King, and that's it.
They will shake hands. Goes into the books as a 6-3 victory for Brent Pierce here in the semifinal. He remains undefeated, moves into the final. That final scheduled to start in about half an hour's time. The other semifinal, I believe, still underway. I haven't got an update. No, it's finished as well. So I would expect we might be pretty close to on time here for the final, scheduled, as I said, in 30 minutes' time. My name's Shawn Joyce. On behalf of myself, Marty, Thompson, I want to thank you all for joining us, not just here for the semifinal, but all weekend long, and we hope to see you one more time in about half an hour for the men's final from the Prestige Hotel and Resorts Curling Classic in Vernon. You've been watching on Curling Zone and the Curling Stadium Vernon Network.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.